I'm unemployed and I'm starting every day with a walk. For those who are new here, I'm Mandy. I'm going through Job Search 2.0 within the last year and currently looking for a job after my second layoff. The first round of my job search, I was getting up every day and feeling like the first thing I had to do was get on LinkedIn and start looking for a job. And this time I'm trying to approach things really differently for my mental health. So I'm getting up every day at like 7:30, getting dressed, making a nice coffee, iced latte, and going on a walk. And I'm not doing this to try to work out or anything like that. You're never gonna catch me talking about that on here. But it does feel good to just get out of my house and get some fresh air, move my body a little bit, and then sit down to do my job search. So if you'd like to do the same, I'll post every day in my story, and I'd love for you to come on walks with me. But I hope you have a good day and that your job search is going great.
I just realized that I was unintentionally holding on to an unemployment hot tip that is very helpful to know. Unemployment is not just for people laid off by a company. There are multiple reasons that you can be qualified for unemployment. When I was relocated to Vegas for my job, my husband had to quit his job of 5 years, and so he actually qualified for unemployment when we got there. I will list the reasons below that are qualified reasons for receiving unemployment. And as always, like and follow for more hot tips around layoff and unemployment. And you can check out my Stan store for a wonderful workshop that tells you all about life after layoff and what to expect, and also hot tips and tricks.
I got laid off a little over a month ago, and unfortunately, a lot of my friends have been laid off the past couple weeks. Here's a few tips that I have learned in my month and some change of unemployment. Cry. Cry a lot. But only the first day. Give yourself one day. When you're done crying, file for unemployment immediately. It took about 1 month to get my first payment. Tell your network. Put a blast on social. Contact old coworkers, friends, bosses. They're your biggest advocates and can help you get interviews, emails, etc. Update your resume, portfolio, and LinkedIn. Then you rest. Even though it's a stressful time, use the time to catch up on sleep, talk to people you haven't talked to. Try to enjoy it. Good luck.
These are 3 things I wish I learned about unemployment before being unemployed. The first one is health insurance and how complicated, stressful, and confusing it was to pick a new health insurance plan. For example, as soon as I was unemployed, I had the option of picking Cobra, which was a premium health insurance plan, and it was super unrealistically expensive because it was $1,100 a month just to maintain my old benefit. Luckily, I had a friend that pointed out to me that there's state benefits. So in Washington State, we have Apple Health, which was super helpful. And eventually I was able to explore individual health plans, which is what I'm on now. The second thing I wish I learned about unemployment is how emotionally and mentally taxing it is to live in a life of uncertainty. Luckily, I've had years and years of therapy, and I stand by therapy, and I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And I honestly wouldn't know what to do or where I'd be if I didn't have the therapy that I've had so far. So if you're somebody in the same boat, I would definitely recommend just getting that support system set up so that you don't have to face this alone, and you also have professional help throughout the process. Lastly, the last thing that I wish I learned about unemployment is just how much and how early I should have just paid attention to things that fulfilled me and things that I was passionate about, because when you're left with all of this uncertainty, it's very difficult to try to work backwards from that. For me, it's been a lot of ambiguity to navigate, and it's almost starting from scratch because a lot of my time before was spent on my career and focusing on the 9 to 5 and just overall my professional development. However, if you're in the same boat, I would say try to start early and try to figure out what your passions are, what your hobbies are, what things actually keep you afloat. And in phases like this, you're really going to have to lean on those things. And when you don't have them fully defined, it becomes even worse for your anxiety and the uncertainty. So I would definitely start early if you can. That being said, I hope this helps provide some insight. If you're seeing this video, I'm hoping that you're not unemployed, but if you are, we are in this together, and hopefully things get better for us soon. Cheers.
I have officially been unemployed for 1 week, so this is my initial review of unemployment life. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is the best thing I have ever done in my life. If you ever get the chance to have a period of unemployment, please take it. It's only been a week, but I have already noticed just so many shifts in my life that I really wasn't expecting, like even just small things. For example, I no longer dread like just daily household duties, like cleaning, doing the dishes, cooking, grocery shopping. It's just so amazing when you actually have like the time and energy to do normal daily things, how not stressful they are. That makes sense. Like I used to stress out so much of like, okay, I'm gonna be home at this time, then I need to cook, then I'm gonna have to clean, pack my lunch for work, then do this, that, and it becomes this very overwhelming, stressful thing just to like get by with your daily needs. I've also made more plans in the month of October than I probably have in the last like year and a half, again, because I have the time and energy to do it. I've also had so much time to take care of myself. I'm working out 5 days a week. I'm doing so much self-care, and it's not an overwhelming thing of like, oh, I have to make time for this. Like I just have the time to take care of myself. Surprisingly, I'm not losing my mind yet. I do suspect at some point in time in this journey, I might go a little stir crazy. I am normally like a very hyper productive person. I like to stay busy. I like to have things to do. But honestly, I'm like keeping myself busy with things I actually want to do. I have multiple trips planned in the next couple months. I actually want to make social plans now. Before it felt very overwhelming and like, oh my God, I'm gonna be tired. How am I gonna have the time? I'm gonna be tired when I go to work the next day, and yada, yada, yada. Just overall feel very in tune with like what my needs are, what my wants are, and actually being able to do those things and act on those things. So yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I had to go buy a planner to keep track of all of the plans I've made because I'm actually able to do stuff now. Spending more time outside, I'm being more spontaneous. Overall, major life improvement. No regrets at week 1, but I will keep you guys posted along the journey. Like and follow if you would like to keep up with this fun little unemployment era, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
I have not made any money at all, and unemployment still hasn't paid me.
And if you're unemployed and need some money, I got you right now. What's up, Tay? Jonathan here, CEO of Consulting. I want to help you and everybody watching not only get money, but also get a good paying job. So without further ado, first off, took a look at your TikTok and saw that you went from LA to NYC and that you are in the beauty industry. Let's use that information to get you another opportunity. First, you can go to Google Jobs and search whatever industry you're in, plus hiring and in the location you're interested in. All these jobs will show up. Select one of the titles, let's just say beauty advisor. And then I'm going to go on LinkedIn and search that specific role. And then if you go to the one that say promoted, what's going to happen is usually the hiring manager will be directly in the job description. Then you can go to this website, put the position plus the company, then copy the personalized invite, and then send it. Hope that helps you, and follow for more.
Ladies, whoa! I like to get to know ya so I can show ya. Put a hurtin' on ya like I told ya. Give me all your numbers so I can phone ya. See my hips, big hips, so chai. See my butts and my lips don't chai. Lost a few pounds in my waist, oh yeah. It's the kind of beat that go rock-ta-ta. You know, Nikki, you're the cookies. I'm no rookie. You 16, minute I get it so.
3 tips to survive unemployment. Being unemployed sucks. Trust me, I know. I've been unemployed 4 times in my 5-year career. My first tip, and this is after you've already applied for unemployment benefits, is to create an unemployment budget. Just cut out or reduce purchases you don't need, whether that's going out to eat or cutting back on subscriptions like Netflix or Amazon even. Second, update your LinkedIn and resume. Updating your LinkedIn and resume will definitely help you find a job when you start looking. If you're unemployed, it should be sooner than later. And third, work a side gig or side hustle. Try to supplement your income as much as possible to try to help during the tough times. I worked at a grocery store for 4 months during my unemployment. It sucks, but sometimes it has to be done.
So before I was talking about what helps your mental health when you are unemployed and like the things that I've done to keep myself sane and feeling all right, even though being unemployed is a really tough situation to be in. So I thought I would add 3 more things that have helped me out during this time. My first tip to improve your mental health is read books. I think that reading is great, especially when I am bored. My friends are all at work during the day, and when I have downtime, I just pick up a book and read. Right now I'm reading the Neapolitan Sisters, and it's like a family drama book, and I really like it. It's pretty good. So that also makes you feel good about yourself, and it gets you away from looking at your phone all the time. So I just think it's a really healthy thing to do. Number 2, to help yourself out while you're unemployed in a career sense, I would take any sort of certificate of something you're interested in. Right now I'm doing the Google Coursera Project Management Certificate, and I'm about 2.5 months in, and I've learned so much. I get to take notes, I get to share my certificate on my LinkedIn page when I'm done, and it's just something I can add to my resume and portfolio. Number 3, now that you don't have somewhere to be all day, make sure you do have a plan every day of like one thing you're going to do for yourself, whether that's go to a cafe and apply to jobs, or later that night go to a friend's house and watch a movie and cook dinner together, or go to happy hour. Just make sure you have something that you're keeping yourself accountable to and that you're getting out the house, because for me, on those days where I just don't have anything to do and I didn't make any plan, it's really easy to just sink into like a depression of being at home. But even if you do it alone, just do something. I think it will really help to like have something to look forward to as well. But yeah, those are my tips on, keeping yourself sane while being unemployed. So if anyone has anything else to add, please feel free to share.
Here are 3 tips on how to survive unemployment. Number 1, you need a routine, okay? You need to kind of approach your day like you would if you still had a normal job. You need a routine, you need to add structure to your day, and as somebody who doesn't really like structure, okay, I'm a Sag, hello. I kind of like chaos and spontaneity, but you need it in order to progress and feel like you're working towards something. Number 2, if you're debating on going back to a corporate job, then consider freelancing or like temporary assignment. That way you'll have money in your pocket without being committed to like a new full-time job, and you can add new skills fairly quickly to your resume as you get more freelancing jobs and gigs. Number 3, you gotta exercise, okay? This is just for your mental state, all right? You need to take care of your mental health. Exercising is like, that needs to be your job, okay? Move your body, get out the house, go for a walk, go to the gym. It just helps to stay sane and also to remain social.
This is how being jobless for 4 months changed my life. So there was a time that I didn't have work for 4 months because I quit my job. I was scared shitless to do that, but I knew I wanted to. I knew deep inside that that job wasn't serving me anymore. So I quit. And the first month of that was bliss. I was traveling. But when that was over, that was when everything came crashing down. I realized how much of my self-worth was tied to my 9 to 5, how productive I was, or how much money I was making. And that was really dangerous. That thinking of my self-worth equals my income, how much money I make, came from the way I was brought up and also the society that I grew up in. And even if I was doing all sorts of little things like building a business with my sister and setting up my rental property, then I was still left feeling worthless and anxious because I wasn't making as much money as I have. And that's when I realized that this has to change. There is so much work that I need to do within myself. I could no longer assign my self-worth to all these external things that could be taken away at any second. When that happens, what are we going to be left with? So I started working on myself because I realized that the only one who can dictate your worth is yourself. So maybe ask yourself, outside of your job, outside of your money, outside all of these relationships and all these material things that you have, who are you? Would you still like yourself?
Here's exactly how I was able to survive unemployment the last 5 months, and no, I did not take unemployment pay. First, I want to say that I was lucky enough to get a 3-month severance. It was about 12 grand. I also had about $8,000 in my emergency fund, so I decided to max out my Roth IRA and use the severance to budget myself for 3 months. I also have a pet sitting side hustle and would average anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 a month from doing that. I also picked up some other side jobs such as DoorDash, babysitting, and helped my friend market for 5-hour energy for $18 an hour. I would also use my free time to go to stores and find items and flip them on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I also had enough free time to start my personal finance page and have made a little bit of money from this. On top of increasing my income, I also cut down on a lot of expenses. I didn't eat out and I stopped my ClassPass membership of $60 a month. Since I had a gym membership at my alumni gym, I decided to use that instead. I also would not let myself shop for clothes or any unnecessary items. I stuck to my budget of paying for necessities such as housing, food, pet needs, and transportation. With the right mindset, I believe anyone can do it, and if you haven't already, please open up a high-yield savings account and save 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, as well as find a side hustle. My favorite lucrative side hustle is pet sitting, but there's so many options out there. I made a previous video talking about all 10 side hustles I've tried if you want any ideas. As always, follow me for more finance tips.
Survival tips when you don't have a full-time job. The first thing I did was cut off all my luxury spending. And what I mean by luxury spending is, guess who's not going to Sephora these days? Guess who is not getting her nails done every 2 weeks? Look through my spending, like my bank statements, and started cutting off all like recurring payments. Like I had so many things that were recurring, like Dropbox subscription. For what? I just put everything on a hard drive. Also, survival doesn't just mean financial, like survival mentally and emotionally is really important. So instead of approaching things with the mindset of, oh, I can't do this anymore, or I don't have this anymore, I try to fill my time up with things that are low cost or free and they make me happy. So that's where like the jump rope thing comes from. Movies. I do like to go to the movies, like when there's specials, like some theaters have like a $5 special or like an $8 special on certain nights. I just started thinking of my friends and I got like really emotional. God, it's like the second time I post today crying, but you'd be surprised, like when you own it and when you just kind of like are real about it, how many people reach out to you and are nice to you. And yeah, I owe my friends and some strangers a lot of things.
Here's a tip on how to survive unemployment. After you've applied for unemployment benefits, because what are you doing if you haven't done that? I need you to go through your social media and really get a good sense of how people perceive you and get a good sense on how you want to be perceived. The only thing we can change is ourselves. So think about your personal branding. Like, who do you want to become? I feel like the time of being unemployed is such a good time for you to reinvent yourself and like recreate like who you want to be. Create strong personal branding. I'm talking about, what colors do you see when you think about yourself? What characteristics do you think about? What themes, like what traits do you want people to have about you? Like, and embody that. Social media, I mean, if you don't have social media, that's fine, but you can really just start looking at like your friend group and like what you wear or what you watch, what you eat, like reinvent yourself. I really think that's a huge step in creating a new path for you.